Hey, my friend, welcome back. Today we're in Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1, where the wise writer Solomon says, "A soft answer turns away wrath." Who knew a towel set could create such turmoil? Recently, my wife and I celebrated our 10th anniversary. Yes, to God be the glory, great things He has done. February 8th, 2025 marked a decade in our journey of growing in love and fidelity one with another. Early in our marriage, we experienced some surprising points of disagreement. I'll never forget that day where I entered into our master bathroom. And my wife asked me a strange question, at least it was strange to me. She pointed to the towel rack and said, "Why do you hang your towel like that?" I'll be honest, I did not anticipate this question at all. This question did not come up in pre-engagement counseling. It didn't come up from either one of our parents or our siblings who were already married or one of our friends who were already married. This was a new question, one of those things that kind of caused me to pause and scratch my head. And I'll be honest, my answer was not exactly the kindest of answers. What do you mean? Why do I hang my towel like this? It's because that's how I hang my towel. And in my mind, I was thinking, neither of my sisters has ever asked me, why do I hang my towel like this? My own mother has never asked me why I hung my towel like that. And she noticed that I was becoming a bit defensive. And so she said, well, never mind. I'm sorry I asked. She made a recommendation that we hang the towels like she hung her towel. And I was 10 toes down. Nope, this is how I've always hung my towel. And this is how I'm going to continue to hang my towel. Now, at this time, you may be wondering, well, how were the towels hung? I'm glad you asked. Well, if you look at this towel right here, look at this towel. Once your boy was finished showering and cleaning up, I would fold my towel in half and bloop, hang it over the rack. Simple enough, right? You've seen towels hung like this the world over. But Sister Girl hung her towels like this in thirds. Boom, boom, ba-da. Now, I know there's someone watching right now, someone listening right now, who's saying to me about me in my way, that's the way you hang a towel. But there's someone else who's watching or listening, and they're saying, no, she's right. That's how you hang a towel. Now, as crazy as this may sound, this division over the towels estate in our bathroom, man, it became like a chasm between us. For what seemed like longer than it should have been, probably several days, it was that elephant in the room. If you were to enter into our bathroom, you would see one towel hung one way and another towel hanging in another way. And there was one night we were in bed, our backs were toward one another, our faces were facing in opposite directions. There was a felt, tangible atmosphere of disagreement. We were silent, but you could slice that silence with a dull knife, right? That's how thick it was. And something prompted me, you need to say something to your wife. You need to speak to her. But before I spoke, something else said, you need to go into the bathroom and take your towel that you have folded the way you have folded it all of your life, and you need to change your ways. I took off my towel off the rack, and I did like this. Folded it in thirds, hung it over the rack. I didn't say anything, went back to sleep that night, and the next day, my wife came in, looked at the towel rack, looked at me and said, "You changed how you hung the towel." Yeah, I did. Now, I am not the hero of this story by any stretch of the imagination. If there's any hero to this story, it's the Holy Spirit, the one who prompts us when we need to change our ways. There are a few things I want us to listen and learn to today. Number one, if we're not careful in moments of disagreement, we can default to defensiveness. In moments of disagreement, we can default to defensiveness. It was a very simple question. And some follow-up queries on my part after I changed how I hung my towels, which, by the way, we still hang our towels like that. Yes. We still, 10 years in, We hanging those towels in thirds. I've got practice. Now that's how I hang my towel. After following up, though, I asked her, well, what was the point to you? Why did you hang your towel like that? Why did you want me to hang the towel like that? For me, if the towel is drying, it's hanging correctly. And she said, babe, all I wanted was for the design pattern to show. Big difference, right? I wasn't thinking about that design pattern at all, but she was. Now, had I simply asked her at the very beginning, well, why would you want to hang it like that? Or, I don't have a reason why I hang mine like this. This is just how I've always done it, but I'm open to your influence. I could have saved several days of heartache. We could have saved unnecessary tension and silence and skirting around the issue. And I suspect that what for us was a towel gate, if I can call it that, is something different for you in any one of your relationships. Maybe it is with your spouse, or maybe it's with a friend or parent or child or a sibling or coworker. Sometimes something as simple as a towel really just serves as the symbol of a greater challenge, which is the ability to first seek understanding before I seek to be understood. I became defensive because I felt like she was attacking the way I'd always done something. And by the way, this came up when it came to what we would eat for breakfast or what temperature of water we might use to wash our clothes. Differences are normal. They are natural because we all come from different walks of life and different backgrounds. The challenge becomes when we cannot acknowledge our differences without creating division. And when we cannot disagree without being divisive, we default to defensiveness. And that is what Doctors John and Julie Gottman call one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in marriage. And if I could extend that, I think that it applies again to relationships of various kinds, where there is an atmosphere of defensiveness, when the soil is not ripe for mutual understanding, for turning towards one another, accepting the influence of someone else. It impacts trust, vulnerability, and intimacy. And ultimately what can happen even on the best and brightest of days, where it seems like everything is in your favor to win the day together, your first priority and responsibility is to protect yourself and not your partner or your friend. Today, I'm asking us to prayerfully overcome the tendency to default to defensiveness by seeking first to understand, by asking questions, and remembering the wise counsel of Solomon in Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1, where he says, "A soft answer turns away wrath." Put another way, soften your startups. That's what the Gottmans say. Softening your startups allows the other person to know that you are willing to listen to what they have to say. You're willing to follow up with clarifying questions if at first you don't understand what they are asking you. And you're just willing to walk in humility. Listen, there is more than one way to hang a towel. There's more than one way to cook eggs. There's more than one way to wash clothes. There's more than one way to make a bed. There's more than one way to write a paper. There's more than one way to screw in a light bulb. Maybe there's only one way to screw in a light bulb. But there's more than one way to do a whole lot of things that really don't have to be the cause or catalyst of catastrophe and chaos in your life. I'm so thankful that God came to me and gently nudged me early in my marriage to say, son, don't let minors become majors. Don't let molehills become mountains. Don't let towels be the root cause of turmoil in your home. I'm trying to get you not just to make it through year 1, but beyond years 2 and 4 and 7 and 8. I want you to celebrate a decade of love in your marriage, of friendship. I want you to celebrate the beauty of who you have in your spouse and in your bride. And I don't want you to let cotton sewed together, even with its patterns, I don't want you to let this become anything that sets you on a path of defensiveness and self-protection, because I have put you on a pathway to oneness. And let what God has brought together, let no one, man or woman, let nothing, including towels, set you asunder. So I'm thankful for 10 years of marriage, but beyond 10 years of marriage, I'm grateful for the daily access to the wisdom that God gives to us, which I extend to you. We're going to soften our startups because this allows us to turn towards one another and not default to defensiveness. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.